Hello and welcome to a very special broadcast of Nick's News here on what is today? The 9th of November. What are we up to? We are going to be doing a rehousing video for our latest Fauna acquisition. Sorry we got started a little late. This should be fun though. So, what have we got? Couple of weeks ago now, I actually purchased probably the last of my Fauna. For a while, I purchased what is known as Heterometrus-longimanus, an Asian forest scorpion. So now I have the trifecta. I have the tailed whip scorpion, Elmira. I have the tailless whip scorpion, Ripley. And I have an actual scorpion who is a boy named Sue. And he is ornery. I am realizing I left something behind, but we are going to make do with what we've got. Hi, Charlie. I hope the audio is coming in well. This is going to be fun. Everybody's kind of chilling behind me. So, right now, Sue is in their own smaller enclosure, which is just too small for them. They're going to get bigger. I want to provide them with a good home. Audio is fine on both. Thank you, producer Donna. So, this is the setup that is housing Sue. And again, Sue is Heterometrus-longimanus, the Asian forest scorpion. And Sue is probably the angriest bug I have ever owned, ever. It's no joke how mean and mad this bug is. Just a moment, I just saw a food item that Sue didn't get their claws on, crawling around, so I'll give it to Ripley. Let me close Ripley back up. Ripley is also going to get a rehousing at some point. If Ripley gets a little bigger, then Ripley's going to get a bigger container too. But we're going to bump Sue up from this little, like, maybe a 5-gallon total, up to a 10-gallon. And I've got all my stuff here to do it, and we'll go through piece by piece. But first, obviously, we need to get Sue out. So Sue has a little coconut hide over by me. I'm going to grab my tongs because Sue is very angry. Am I going to wear gloves? So Sue hates me already. I'm not going to bother with wearing gloves. I did wash my hands prior. I actually have to go get my coffee because that's our news brew, is just my coffee. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm a little verklempt. Okay. I gotta get the calf. So I've got this Iron Man mug. I believe Julie got this for me. Julie, if you were the one that got this for me, I greatly appreciate it, and I love this mug. So cheers, everybody. Oh, it's good. Okay. So let's get Sue out of this tank. In fact, if I can, I just want to take this whole topper off. Make things easier. I'm going to hold on to this tank. It's pretty nice. Okay. Oh, all right. Sue is already on the defensive. Now I'll get Sue into this little Tupperware over here, and then I'll bring Sue closer so y'all can see him. I was able to determine Sue's gender. Sue is a male, so he is. So keeping up with like the M terms I go with for mantises, like Madeline, Matilda, all the Magellan, all the mantises before. I do the alliteration, so I went with Sue, the scorpion. It just turned out. Hi there. Hello there. Oh, Sue is not happy. That Sue is a boy, so one of my favorite Johnny Cash songs, A Boy Named Sue. Okay, buddy. Oop. You know what? We're gonna get a lot of Sue's stuff out of the way here. Sue has a lot of climbing medium and hiding medium. But the big thing that Sue needs is burrowing medium, because these scorpions like to burrow a little bit. So that's what this bigger tank is going to help with. Yeah. Just very carefully. Trying to... Oh, boy. Sue can get their stinger up a lot higher than... Oh, come on. Oh. Yeah. You feel like I'm back... Oh, okay. I'm not backing you into a corner here. I'm pushing you into a container. There you go. Now you're getting the idea. I need you to back up, little buddy. There you go. Oh, okay. Okay. So now, Sue is contained. Sue is a subadult as well. Sue is not a full adult. But that doesn't mean Sue is no less impressive. Say hello to Sue, the Asian forest scorpion. Put this back down to show the process. So yeah, not happy. Now obviously we want to put as little stress as possible on the scorpion. So we're going to cover him up. And we're going to move him off to the side. Oh, sorry, buddy. Okay. Sue's going to go chill over there. Sue is a very spicy baby. So, what do these scorpions really like? They like digging medium. They like humidity. They like good temperatures around 72 to 75 degrees average. And you can easily pull that off, all of those off with a 10-gallon aquarium. So, we are going to fill this up. Now, similar to Elmira, we're going to use, I really like to use Reptisoil. And I'm going to mix in this cocoa fiber that is in Sue's original tank, because this cocoa fiber is really good for moisture retention. It's a good digging medium, so long as you've added it to other digging medium. Cocoa fiber on its own, not the best, so add a different medium. In my case, I really love Reptisoil. It's ZooMed Reptisoil. This stuff is good for everything, so I'm going to get the rest of the odds and ends out of Sue's tank. Everything is going to go back into the tank because there's a lot of biota in this tank. I added springtails, and I added, on accident, I added a dairy isopod somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's still active in this tank too. So we're going to look around and see if we can find it. But we are going to make sure that all of this goes back into the new tank, specifically to keep that macro or that microfauna alive. Oh, you're calming down. So, we got a whole bunch of like vine leaves. We got all sorts of stuff in here. A lot of springtails climbing around, which is good. I know, buddy. It's not ideal being in a Tupperware while I do this. Okay. So that cleans out all the old stuff. So I think I can take... Can I take these walls off now? This tank that was on it, or that he was in, was okay as a starter tank. It's more cleaning crew. As producer Donna asked, what are they for? Springtails and isopods, like dairy isopods, or like on Nick's News, we did, or on the Flora and Fauna post, we showed off my Great Canyon isopods that I use a lot. They're really good cleaners. They clean everything. Gosh, all these. I mean, these are great. This is a great way to hold a tank together, but it's just tedious taking this apart. So, oh, was there one more? There's one more. Okay. I've already got a hygrometer and thermometer probe combo ready. This is kind of like back when we built the ISS, or when we were doing different Legos and stuff. Those live streams. I liked those live streams, so I figured I'd live stream putting this all together, since this won't take too long. I want all of this plant, or all this dirt, all this good soil is going to get mixed into here. Alright, so that takes apart the old tank, and I'll deep clean the heck out of this later. And I'll reuse that on something else that doesn't need a tall tank, doesn't need a lot of digging medium. So we'll start off, we'll get some of our Reptisoil in. Now we need to go about 4 to 5 inches of digging medium. Doesn't seem like much. In a 10-gallon tank, 4 to 5 inches of digging medium, that's a lot of digging medium. So I have a couple bags of Reptisoil here to go through. And as we go in with each bag, we want to get the humidity up. So we don't want the dirt to be wet in that when we grab it and squeeze it, actual water comes out. We just want it to be damp through all the layers to maintain that really nice humidity that's going to help this tank. So I've got my mister I use for my bugs, and I'm just going to add moisture to the dirt as we go. You don't really need a drainage layer for the diggers. The tank's humidity is going to find an equilibrium. And that'll be the sweet spot. So we've also got a tape measure for down the road as we're doing this. Yeah, we want it to be moist. Not wet, but moist. And since we're working with so much soil, that's not very difficult. So, before we get our cocoa fiber soil in, because I want that to be towards the top, let's start getting another bag of Reptisoil in. This isn't the fun part yet, obviously. We're going to get to the part where I'm putting live plants and stuff in here and his hides, because I bought him some really nice hides. The scorpions like to hide. Let me go get some paper towel. Oh, I have a rag. Forgot I had a rag. That's fine. Let me go grab a... Do I need scissors? Nah. I can rip this bag open. I just won't do it with my teeth. So. And I don't want to get any of this in my coffee. Elmira's actually hibernating, I just found out this morning. I haven't seen Elmira for a few days, but I know that giant vinegaroons do hibernate So I looked around the tank, I moved it around and figured out she has a burrow at the very bottom of the tank, right in the center of the tank. So she closed off all the other entrances. She has sealed herself up in there for the winter. So that's okay. That's what they do. So let's get some more Reptisoil in. Again, our target is 4 inches at least of digging medium, which is just so much soil. It blew me away when I did the last tank, when I did Elmira's, just how much soil this is. And we want to move this around, get that moisture that we've already put in, get it into this soil. We want it to be nice and loose. It'll compact over time, but we want it to be a good digging medium. We want Sue to be able to tear through it and do what they want with it. Sue is going to be the ultimate architect of this terrarium. Scorpions modify their surroundings only slightly, just to what they need. They'll move things. They'll move rocks around. They'll move dirt easily. Those claws, those modified claws they have are really good at just bulldozing dirt. Somewhere playing in the dirt. This is probably the most boring part of it, is just getting the dirt right. I also have a lot of sphagnum moss that we're going to use, and I have live moss that's going to go in here too. We're going to make a nice bioactive green enclosure for Sue, with a couple of plants, a good healthy sheet of live moss, and a lot of stuff going on. This tank's going to have a lot going on. So I'm actually going to work some sphagnum moss now into this soil. Sphagnum moss loves to hold moisture. So I'm just going to pull some of this out. And then I'm going to shred it and just spread it out throughout this soil to help us hold humidity. We're just holding moisture. That's the biggest name of the game for this. I should center this tank, shouldn't I? Just a moment. Let me get all this sphagnum moss out of my hands, and I will recenter the tank. Move this over. Closer to Sue. There we go. Okay. Sphagnum moss in the soil just helps to keep some pockets, to aerate, provide some area, some space in the soil. We'll mix that all in. Get that spread out throughout this layer. And we'll see about where we're sitting soil-wise. Let's take a look. How much soil have we got? It's probably about 2 inches of soil. It's not much. But that's why we got plenty of bags of Reptisoil. So right now, yeah, we're sitting on about just 2 inches of soil. So we got to go quite a bit more. Let's work in some of this cocoa fiber into this layer. Get some of this bioactive soil going. maybe see that dairy isopod. I haven't seen it in a little bit, so. All right, we'll call that good. And we'll spread that out. And now we'll dump more soil. And that's the name of the game, just more soil. Another bag of rep the soil down. Get this all mixed up. Scorpions don't need a lot of vertical space. They need a lot of horizontal space to roam around. So that's their big thing. Just a lot of horizontal space. They love to roam. Every night I hear Sue walking around in here, or in their old enclosure. Get all that moist. And with that, we are up to about 3.5, 3 3/4 inches. So we're getting there, we're getting there. We'll mix real quick. And we shouldn't need too much more to get to our preferred height. So we'll get this all mixed up, get it all aerated. I don't tend to use vermiculite. I've seen some folks use a bit of vermiculite to add some depth, but I've never used it, or at least I haven't used it all that much. So we got one more bag of Reptisoil, and we've got the rest of the cocoa fiber, and that's about it. We won't go through that whole bag of Reptisoil, but I am glad I picked it up. That'll get us to our preferred soil depth. They don't dig as deep or as crazy as the vinegaroons do, like Elmira. So we actually should be good right around here. Okay. Put that bag of soil down there. Get this spread out. And yep, we should be pretty good on soil at this point. Oh yeah. Yep, this will be great for our soil level. So that right there is a good 4.5 to 5 inches of soil in some places. And we're going to dump the rest of this cocoa fiber in. We'll just get it all in there. I can see tons of springtails just jumping around in this, which is good. It's very good. Okay. We'll get this all spread out. All this cocoa fiber. There we go. And we'll get it misted. Okay, so all the dirt's done. So now we can start putting more stuff into this. We're going to start off looking at our hides that we've got. We've got a really nice, decent-sized corner hide. with that back, and I think I'm going to be putting that like right here. We've got a regular hide, which is decent sized, and that'll be just sitting on the top, just providing a nice comfortable spot for Sue to hide under. We've got a ton of live moss, and we've got a water dish, a shallow water dish, in case the scorpion wants to drink or if it wants to bathe. It's going to go probably right in the middle here. So, or I might put it off to the side. We'll see. We're going to start with laying down some more really good humidifying products. So we're going to go through the rest of this sphagnum moss that I've got. And I'm just going to dump it all in there. And shred it and spread it out. Sphagnum moss is great for your cleaning crew to hide in. It's good as a base. It's just good for a lot of stuff. And we're going to put live moss in here too. So this is going to be a bioactive vivarium. We're going to do a bit of a moisture gradient. I'm going to keep the corner hide mostly dry, and I'm going to keep the other side with the water dish mostly wet, I think. Or I might centrally locate it. But that way, Sue will have a range of territory or a range of places to go in the tank, depending on their temperament and what they want. So we're just shredding up this sphagnum moss real well. Again, it's a good hiding medium for all of our microfauna. It's great for our scorpion to be able to dig through. And just throwing that around as a good base. Be careful, there are some pokies sometimes hidden in your sphagnum moss. I just got one in my finger, but they come out pretty easy. The tank does have a lid. Producer Donna asked, does this tank have a lid? And it does. I've got it behind me. Sue can climb objects. If Sue can get his claws on something, he can haul himself up. And I found that out the fun way when I witnessed it. That Sue had grabbed onto the thermometer and hygrometer probes that I had in that little tank and had pulled himself up to the top of the tank and was just chilling up there, kind of waiting to see if I'd open the door. And I did not. I waited for them to climb down. So, but boy, was that crazy. So I think we're going to put our corner hide. We'll set up our corner hide because we've got plenty of sphagnum moss down. I'll move a little bit more in, and I'll kind of pre-dig this corner out for him. So he might kind of get the idea of what this is. That this is actually just a good hiding spot for him right off the bat. That was about the right size. Yeah, this corner hide is really nicely shaped. So that'll give him a good spot there. It's also not so high that I'm going to be worried about him getting to the top of the tank. And that kind of sets the tone for what the dry side is going to be. For our wet side, we're going to start off with our moss. Well, the moss, actually, now that I think about it, the moss isn't really going to grow in the hidden spaces of this tank. So what I could do is I could spread the sphagnum moss out a little bit. I could put down the other hide, and then I can move and shape the moss mat. So let's do that. We're going to put the second hide, which is another decent sized hide, just right back here. Yep. So he's going to lose his coconut. Sorry, buddy. We're ditching the coconut. But I think he'll be all right with that, what with everything else we're going to get. So I'm going to scoot the coconut and the old hides down, and we are going to crack open a box of fresh sheet moss. I love using this stuff. Charlie in the chat, like, come on, mofo, let me out. He was. So this is live sheet moss. There may be some microfauna in these sheets too. I love using live sheet moss. Tessa, hey Tessa, great humidity idea with the moss and spray bottle. That's what they did for their snake Eve. That's very cool. And yeah, a smart move with terrariums that require humidity. These are Asian forest scorpions, forest being the key word. They love the humidity. They love the heat and the humidity. So we're going to gently kind of tear this off into sections, and we're going to start laying our live moss down. It's a little on the dry side. I kind of figured it might be when I was reading about it coming in, and I've used it before, but this is probably going to be the first tank where I get it to actually stick. And what I don't use, I'm actually going to add to Elmira's. So when Elmira wakes up from their long nap, they're going to be greeted with some new stuff in their tank, which I think will be really cool. We'll just keep putting our moss in places. I'm going to cover the forest floor of our terrarium with a good bioactive layer of moss. And I think I'm going to go all over with it. Yeah, we're going to use quite a bit of it here. So, grab another sheet of it. This stuff is this side is very vibrant. Very vibrant and alive. So we're going to set that up right at the door to the other hide. I'm going to quick mist everything because some of this is a bit dry, and I want this moss to thrive and grow into a carpet, just a bioactive carpet in here. Grab a bit more. Let's grab a bit more of this dry moss. Another sheet of it, and I'll shape this sheet to go over here into this corner. It's going to leave a lot of moss left over for Elmira, so which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Elmira's tank can stand to be a little bit more green too. Okay, so we've got a really good moss bed. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm actually not a big fan of the water dish I picked up. Elmira being a burrower, it's okay that their water dish is the same size, but this water dish might be a little big now for what we've got in this tank. Maybe not. Maybe not. 2 good hides, a decent water dish right here. We might actually be okay. I have some smaller ones. I might actually go with a smaller one. I think I'm going to go with the smaller one in here, just for now. And we'll see if Sue is all right with it. The latest member of the family, T-Rave, I don't know how well the camera's picking him up. Can you see him? He's kind of pissed, and he's trying to climb out of this Tupperware that I got him in. He is an Asian forest scorpion. He's not happy. He's really not happy. we're going to tear a little spot out to kind of set the water dish in so that if I overfill it, it'll feed the moss. Yeah, that's much better going with the smaller water dish. That was a good choice, but I'm going to flip it because it's got a long end to it. There we go. Okay. Just going to quick mist everything. Okay, so live moss is done. We can put a few of Sue's climbing medium back in, probably safely. Some of this cork bark. I think I'm only going to use this smaller piece of cork bark because I don't want to make it so tall that Sue is going to climb out. I see a lot of good springtails on this piece, so we're going to put this piece just right here in the corner. So just some climbing medium, just some something interesting. Keep the tank as close to normal. Travis, smaller looks good. Thank you, Tessa. He angry. Get him a Snickers. I tried to feed him yesterday before this, but he might actually be in pre-molt, and he did not accept food, so I was very surprised. The definition of fight me, bro. he squares up. He hears my voice, and he squares up, so hopefully this new tank will calm him down a little. I'm quick checking this other piece of cork bark to see if there's anything on it. There's a couple of little springtails here and there. I don't see that dairy isopod though, but I'm going to tap it and try to coax any microfauna off of this and into the new home. I would hate to lose that dairy cow, but you know, we'll see what happens. And the coconut, which was a very nice hide for the time, is going to go away. It's got a ton of stuff climbing on it. We want all of those springtails and everything in this tank. So just going to tap the heck out of it, get this decent colony of springtails that's on top of this into this tank so that they will flourish and they will continue to clean for Sue. I think that got all of them. I'm not seeing anything else. I really like these larger springtails. They do such a good job at cleaning, so I'm going to hold on to them as long as I can. Okay, so we've got a nice green terrarium going. How mad are you going to be when Sue digs up your moss and piles up dirt like Elmira does? So theoretically, Sue is not going to burrow as much as Elmira does. So there won't be as much world destruction as what Elmira does to their tank. Now we've got a couple of plants that I want to add in. Spathiphyllum walsey is a good one. Oh shoot. I've got to rinse the gel off of this. The Cayman agar. Really nice green plants. We're going to add some greenery to this. I'll be right back real quick. I forgot that I have to rinse these roots off. I've got to rinse that agar off. amongst yourselves. I need my tank sprayer. I'm going to clean these off. Okay, so that cleans these up. Just really nice green plants that are going to go in here. Not toxic to the scorpion. So we are going to find some spots and we're just going to bury them into the moss and the substrate. So let's do one over here. Gonna kind of tear through the moss a little bit. Just use my fingers. There we go. Gain us access to that substrate. And then we will plant. We'll pull these roots and we'll kind of force the root ball down into this spot in the moss. And hopefully that will take off. I left the tank sprayer. There we go. I'll give it a bit of water to get started. Gonna need more water. I always use distilled water for all of my tanks. Stay away from fluoride, stay away from everything else. Even Brita water, I've found just, I'm not a fan, so. And obviously we are using a lot of water to get this tank to a good humidity. Got 2 more plants, well we've got 3 more plants to go actually. I've got a really beautiful last plant that's going to be kind of a centerpiece in here. Let's tear a spot right over here. And dig it out a little, and we'll bury the root ball of another one of these plants right down into that. Give it a nice spot. Give it a nice misting since it is now out of agar. And just put some water on it. And the last one, which is a decent size, we'll put right back in the corner, back here. There we go. That way we can see the roots actually grow on that one. Okay, last plant. I've got to re-identify what this plant is real quick, but I will bring it up to the camera to show you. It's kind of going to be the centerpiece for Sue's Angry Tank. I have found this, I've had this plant before, but I don't think I have it in my picture this list anymore of plants. Nope, I took it out, so we're going to snap a new picture. Yep, I know, bud. So, it is a nerve plant, Fauna albivenus. So this is going to be kind of the centerpiece in the tank. This is going to be the nice plants to show off. I'm going to put it right here in the back. It's got its own moss ball. Well, it's kind of got its own everything going on here. So we're going to oops, we're going to try to extract it from this tank that it came in. It's in a baggie. There we go. Okay. So we got it out of the jar. Smells nice. Thanks, Travis. Okay. We'll undo the top here. And we'll extricate this plant. And we will move it into our terrarium. Okay. Dig a little bit, put some of this rock medium that it's been growing in, this charcoal rock medium right there. And then we will lay this root system down into this area. Prop it up as well. It's going to be getting plenty of moisture and light in this area because we have a tank top for this. So we'll water this. We'll kind of spread this all out. And we'll water that plant just a little bit. Okay. That'll hopefully help start getting everything going. All right. So we're pretty much done. We're going to finish up with just adding some substrate, just some leaves in. Just some forest floor medium that may also have a couple of microfauna on it still. These were in the old tank, so I think I'll keep it going and put them in the new one here. It's mostly just leaves from one of my vines, one of my big creeper vines. So I obviously don't want to put so much that the moss is going to get obscured. But at the same time, I want enough that we're going to recapture some of that microfauna that might have climbed off. And we're looking pretty good here. Okay. I think we're ready for the star of the show to go back in his house. I'll real quick bring the camera over and show you what we've got. Hopefully it will go that far. Let's find out. Actually, I think I can unscrew it. Yeah. That screw is a little further in than I thought. Shoot. Whee! Don't get dizzy. There we go. Okay. Let's do this. Alright, so this is what we built. 2 decent hides, a lot of moss, some really nice plants, and yeah, just a really good forest home. I wish there was an easier way to put this back on this thing, but there really isn't. So bear with me, folks, as you get dizzy again. Oh, wait. Could I have just... Oh. Well, I could have done that. I forgot. It just unclips. I'm sorry about that, folks. I forgot that our camera just unclips from the stand. tighten everything back up. Okay. There we go. So there we have it. A new home for Sue, our scorpion. Let's move them back in. This is going to be fun. Hi, buddy. Hello. Are you ready to see your new home? Oh, actually, before you do that, we're just going to clean the walls up a little bit. We're going to get some of this gunk off the walls. I'll fill up the water dish once I move him back to the table where he's going to reside. So, okay, here we go. Just ever so gently going to coax him out. I know. Oop. I know. Just keep backing up. I know. You're squaring up with it. Oh. And there you go. He is now in his new home. He's right over here. He's kind of figuring out, this is odd. What's all this? Where's my coconut? Probably not happy the coconut's gone. That I think was his favorite. But yeah, so now he's just chilling. So that was it. I'm gonna move it over and put the topper on it. I'll take some pictures later, especially after I get Elmira's all cleaned back up with some moss added. And yeah, this is looking really good. I don't see that dairy cow isopod amongst the rest of these leaves, so I'm hoping that the dairy cow is in there. I also do need to add some Grand Canyons to it, some more isopods to help clean. Oh, he's on the move again. He's trying to figure out what just happened. Where am I? This is different. It's very different. He's right here. He's got a brand new, nice big enclosure. And he's going to grow. He still has a lot of growing to do. So hopefully this will be his forever home for a good long while. He's still exploring. He doesn't know what to make of this. He's on the move. He can just barely, the camera's just barely picking him up back here as he moves around. He's definitely trying to figure out this new home. So I'm going to move him over and call this good. It's a successful rehousing. We've built a brand new nice terrarium for our Asian forest scorpion, a boy named Sue. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Keep an eye on our pages for different posts, our Instagram for sneak peeks, like the sneak peek about today's rehousing. We'll have Sue on our Flora and Fauna post on Tuesday the 12th. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it. Thank you all so much. I love you. Have a great day. And I will play us out. There it is.